So you are buying or selling a house and you want to know who chooses the closing date. Well, I'm Tiffany Weber. I am a real estate attorney in Mooresville, North Carolina at Thomas & Weber, and I've done thousands of closings at this point, and it's actually the parties that choose the closing date up front whenever they enter into the contract. Now, keep in mind that whenever you enter into the contract, you don't necessarily know all the details about the property. You don't know the parties' schedules. So the closing date you set in the contract may change. So you're going to set a date that you target for settlement whenever the contract is executed. And then when the buyer chooses the closing attorney, because the buyer does get the choice of closing attorney, then if the closing attorney can accommodate that specific date, then you'll close on that date. Not just the closing attorney, but also the lender has to be able to accommodate that specific date. Sometimes it might be a day or two before, because that's when the times are available and the lender and everyone else is in agreement that they can close earlier. But occasionally the date has to be pushed a day or two aside from the date that was set in the contract. Now, in North Carolina, we have a provision in our standard offer to purchase that there can be a delay in settlement up to 7 days, but that's not a free-for-all. So essentially, if the parties are having some issue that they're in good faith trying to resolve, say the lender is delayed by a day and there's nothing any party can do about it, then the closing could be delayed a day based on from the original closing date in the contract. But usually the closing date is pretty close to the date that was set in the contract, or a day or two on either side of it. Now the parties, if for some reason they've got some conflict with the date they originally chose, can agree in writing to amend that closing date. Happens all the time. All right, so now you know who chooses the closing date, and I'm sure you've got other questions about your closing, so I've got more information in lots of videos on my channel. You can go check those out.